Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown and you lose it?
Where you been?
Drunk. Wendy. Darling. Light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck up and die.
Hey, what's
Are you wait a minute? Are you a bad boy or are you a bad man?
I'm a bad boy.
You're a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
Buddy.
I'm a bad boy and a good man. Well, I get. So, what are we talking about? This is the cultist terminology.
We're talking 1932's Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah,
directed by Michelle Bay.
Yeah, right. No, bad. See, don't even get into Bad Boys for Life. We're not ready yet. We're not.
No, I'm not
ready.
I'm not even ready for this. What
so
am I talking about?
I know. So we are. As I said, this is the cultist terminology podcast. It's Jordan, Levi. This week you clicked on the thing.
Like, as I've said in the last 140 episodes.
Yeah, this is 145. So you clicked on the thing. It's weird. We don't normally go and do just sequels without having done the previous.
I know. Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Bad
okay
Boys.
These movies kind of exist on their own.
Yeah, it's it's like very much. So we obviously did Bad Boys 2. There are 3 now, so it's right in the middle. But this is very much like of the genre. Like I feel like anybody cop like Lethal Weapon, you could jump in a sequel and be fine. It's like they have a chemistry. That's the whole thing.
Fast and the Furious.
That's all you need to know. Because honestly, I really like Lethal Weapon 4, and I always want to just watch 1 and 4, even though the sequels are pretty good. But and you can. God, we should watch that. I'm putting that on the list. No, but the reason I put Bad Boys 2 specifically on the list, it kind of hurt me to not put Bad Boys 1, because I usually don't do that for the podcast. But there's something about Bad Boys 2 that has, in our culture, is just like, oh, that's the action. Like, there's even the joke in Hot Fuzz where he's like, what do you mean you haven't seen Bad Boys 2? And it's just Bad Boys 2. It's not Bad Boys 1 and 2. You know what I mean? So it's like, I put it on there. And it fucking won, surprisingly.
I mean, it's high octane. We're in the high octane. The fact that, is there going to be a Fast and the Furious on one of these? Because, like, come on.
No.
Come on, buddy. Okay, well, whatever. But, yeah. So it's
I
like,
hate those movies.
That's the vibe I've got.
I will put Fast and the
Furious movie.
Fast and Furious is this, but if you take out all the swears and violence, which is like, what's the point then?
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, that's
like Fast and the Furious, the later ones anyway, it's all CG. This is like actual car chases, most of it. I mean, there's obviously effects, but
sure.
But it's like a lot of practical stuff.
I know. That's literally the only saving grace. I'm excited to see the practical.
Anyway, we're gonna get in it, bud. But before we get too crazy, guess what? I wrote a synopsis. So let me pull it up, because I'm trying to be a good boy, even though I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy. My internet's being slow. Sorry, or my phone is anyway. All right. Oh, why is it so little?
Come on, Grandpa, put your readers on.
I know. All right. So here's a synopsis just to catch y'all up, because most of you guys, and if you're cool like us and you're part of the film club, maybe you watched it this week and it's fresh in your mind, but maybe not, and you want to listen to it, even though you haven't watched it since 2003. So here it is. So Mike and Marcus are a couple of bad boy Miami police officers that shoot first and ask questions later. For Marcus, however, this rowdy lifestyle is getting to be a bit much. In other words, he's getting too old for this shit. Just as Marcus is thinking about stepping away from Mike and all his chaos, his little sister Sid in the DEA is tracking and infiltrating Johnny Tilapia's drug empire. Sooner than later, the two paths cross and a dramatic triangle ensues as Mike is secretly dating Sid, adding even more attention to the partners' already strained relationship. As they try to close the walls on Tilapia's ex-business, they get into destructive chases, explosive shootouts, and white-knuckle brawls. Eventually, Sid's cover is busted, and as Marcus puts it, shit just got real. Old Johnny takes her to Cuba. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff because it doesn't really matter. Old Johnny takes her to Cuba while the bad boys take off the gloves and infiltrate the government with the help of vague military guys that just want to tag along and blow shit up. They get there, do the aforementioned blowing up of shit, and get out with the girl. But not before driving through a literal village, knocking out an old lady, kidnapping a young girl, killing many Cuban military, and driving into Guantanamo Bay, where Marcus rises up and shoots Johnny in the dome and exploding him on a landmine for good measure. They all live happily ever after. Marcus and Mike's bond restored, Mike and Sid's relationship secure, and Miami just a little bit safer. That's it.
Wonderful.
It just comes back.
Got the
That's
drugs,
right.
got the drugs off the streets.
That horrible ecstasy as the one Russian guy that's in every movie, and I never know his name, but he's in every movie. He's just like,
I love it.
He's like the X fucks him up, like
Yeah, the X-Men. Dude, he was in John Wick as
He's-
just a nondescript Russian dude.
he is in everything, and it's weird. You know what I always think of him in? Did you ever see? This is a weird tangent, but George Romero's Bruiser.
No, I haven't seen Bruiser.
He's in that, and for some and I don't remember it that well, but I remember that was the one time because I watched it back in the day, and I was like, it's that guy. He's everywhere, and he still is just. I guess this was that era though, like the early 2000s. He was everywhere in the early 2000s.
Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if he was in a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna learn his name. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so this movie, you'd not seen it. You hadn't seen the other ones. Give me, I'm waiting because we had to hurry and jump into, usually we talk a little bit before the podcast, but Jordan was so excited to talk to me about the bad boys that he couldn't shut up. So we had to hurry and start rolling on the podcast so he can tell me on the recording. So tell me your elation.
Oh, man. Like, I feel like...
Because did you watch the first one also?
No.
Okay, you said you were going to.
I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I really wanted to, but I just didn't. I didn't have time. I was gonna start.
It was Monday, and you're like, "Fuck."
Well, it kind of. It was Sunday night, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta watch the movie." And so I was like, "Well, maybe I'll start with the first one." Couldn't do it. It just I knew I wouldn't have enough time. I have an hour or two before the pod, and so I'm like, well. Don't want to try to cram this movie in because I would have done both, but I didn't realize that this was a 2.5-hour movie, and it fills
does
its
not need
time.
To be. It does a good job.
I feel every minute of it. No, I know that's the thing. Like I'm gonna be we're doing High Octane. I'm a hipster. I don't watch action movies, so it's really difficult for me to be invested and impressed. It's so funny though, the whole time I'm watching this I'm like, it's kind of weird that Michael Bay kind of built, I know that he didn't invent he didn't invent the template of action, but God, Michael Bay has such an impression. I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I actually kind of it's kind of weird. There's this, it's almost I feel like I'm getting that little dopamine rush because I can guess what's going to happen next. And I know, all the shots.
He hits all the beats.
Where, Will Smith, it's that lower power shot that pushes up to Will Smith and then spins around him and he's got his arms out, double, angel wide, blasting two pistols.
It's like slow-mo.
Every time.
And, he does the clips.
That happened,
so
4
many
times.
Well, you know what it reminded me of? And this makes perfect sense. It reminded me of a movie we watched a couple months ago. Same year, 2003's Dawn of the Dead remake, who was directed by the other, I feel like Zack Snyder.
Kind of, yes.
Right?
Zack Snyder.
And so,
he definitely, embellishes
Zack Snyder and Michael Bay, I feel like the 2000s rolled around and they're like, this is the new millennia,
Well, Michael Bay
did.
Michael Bay said that, he said, Matrix came, Matrix changed everything. And so Michael Bay said, I have to keep up. And so, Michael Bay just ripped that line of coke off of Shia LaBeouf's boner and went, all right, guys, I can fucking do it. I can make Matrix look like fucking kiddies play. I can just make this he's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to make it wild. And he's like, do you want to breathe in between this movie? Too fucking bad. And you're not going to, it's like every chase scene. I was looking it up and this is a fun fact. During the chase scene, that the infamous one on the freeway at the beginning,
so
that's
good.
that's just the opening.
That's the
action.
best. That's the best action set piece for sure.
That's the best. Yeah, the best action part. After that, I know it's funny. After that scene, I went, "Oh, we're gonna get 2 more chase scenes because I feel like it has to come in the rules of 3."
Yeah,
and they're all gonna be kind of lamer and lamer, and they were. But anyways, that chase scene was amazing and it was really cool. But no cut was longer, or no scene was longer than, no shot was longer than 2 seconds. So it's like all the information is just like overload. And as I'm watching it, I literally, the only gripe I have with this movie is I watched it and I'm like, I couldn't tell you who was who. I couldn't tell you where they were. I didn't know if they were in the U.S. I didn't know if they were in Cuba. I didn't know if I didn't understand
you just got
his
assaulted,
estate was
bro.
in Miami. It's like his estate was on some weird island off of Miami or something, and then they went to Cuba, and Cuba just felt exactly like they were in Miami, and and they were like this, and the oh my God, there's just so many people. It's so saturated with people that I'm like, we don't need these people. Like the Haitians are involved. Are they in the first one? They have to be, right? Like Ice Pick, his informant.
I honestly maybe. But
oh my God, dude!
Not
if Ice Pick is
not by much.
in the first movie.
The first one,
I'm gonna lose my mind.
The first one is not. I don't know. It's like someone out there is gonna correct me because it's been a long time since I've seen it. But that's just why I went straight to the second one, is because the only real character, like I'm pretty sure Sid is briefly in the first one, the sister, and that's pretty much it. Like his family, like a little bit. And the first one is much more of like a '90s, much more grounded. Like it's pretty good for what it is. Well, but if we're going high octane, I skip straight to 2 because.
Michael Bay in the 90s, it's funny how like he was like Armageddon is such a like a ridiculous plot that like that it like he became almost like
shot. It's very feels Hollywood and grounded,
like, realistic and grounded. Yeah, like that's like watching Armageddon and then watching Bad Boys 2. You wouldn't like. Actually, it's kind of wild because he does keep a lot of his same filming techniques, but like in Bad Boys 2, he really does like he's like I have to make this bigger and better and a parody of himself essentially, because that's like it's kind of how it goes. And then he never got grounded again. And I mean, in Pain and Gain, I will say that's the closest thing he did to like becoming grounded again. But like beyond that, it's just like I
want Michael Bay to just like he does. He just it's because it's like after this, then he went to do like Transformers, and then he got sucked into that was his whole thing, right? And, kudos to him that he still just blows cars up, though, even with the CG. Like, he'll just blow a car up. But it's like I'm waiting for him. He's an older guy now. It's like this movie feels as trite and, like, full of tropes as it feels like now. Watching it, like, especially the opening sequence with how fast it's edited and all the, like, speed ramps, the digital, like, after, like, sped up to, like, come into a scene, like, shoo, you know what I'm talking about? And that's kind of so early 2000s, right? Like, such a thing. And I felt it. But now I want him, like, he's an older guy now. I want him to just, like, his next movie to just be all dialogue and just, like, I want to see him do it.
I could totally picture him because, like in that of The Rock, I could see him doing a Prison Break movie. And I think that he could do a really grounded.
I forgot about The Rock.
The Rock is fucking dope. That's how come I'm like, I like Michael Bay.
Yeah, Michael Bay. He's all right.
Like
he's got some good ones.
Because it's like, what is it? It's The Rock and Armageddon, and he did one more that I really liked. And now I can't think of. Well, I do actually really like Pain and Gain, but
I wanted to see Pain and Gain because it looked a little bit different than his normal.
Oh my God. He has another thing that he did in the 90s, and now I'm spacing it.
Well, we might be watching Armageddon next month. Mary's going to put it on her list for sure. So
she is.
We'll
awesome,
see.
Awesome. But and then I guess Bad Boys 2 is kind of that, because I remember the first Bad Boys. I remember it being like it was supposed to be like kind of the kind of hip version of all the tropes that you had of the of the John McClanes and stuff of the 90s. It was supposed to be kind of like a cool.
It was like the 90s.
It's two comedy black dudes in it that are in this like high, and it's high stakes, because they a lot of like drug busty stuff that they're doing, and like I mean it's so funny, like these aren't even movies where I like care that they're cops. It's kind of weird. As much as I'm as vocal as I am about like fuck cops, it's kind of funny.
They're barely cops.
What are they? No, dude. Literally the whole time, I'm like in the first movie, are they actually something? Do they go through police academy and then become like police?
No, they're just.
Or
I mean,
they're just already like narcos or whatever.
I'm pretty
they already
sure.
work in
Yeah.
the tactical whatever narcotic team.
Because that's where you
And
get the intense stuff, right? Yeah. Because
Yeah,
Joe
okay.
Pantaleone, the captain, who I love.
Yeah, I know, me
he's
too,
in the
yeah.
first one for sure.
He's eating the steak. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he's in the first one.
And so yeah, and I thought that was kind of funny. The Matrix tie-in, like Michael Bay was like, well, if the Matrix scares me, and like the Matrix is like doing what I want to do but better. And he's like I'm gonna take one of their characters. It's so
I
funny.
know.
But anyways, and his like, dude, it's like this movie is just so bad. but like
I think
fun.
it's great. I
don't know, but no, the whole time I'm like, what is it's? But it sucks because it's not so bad that it's good. I'm just kind of like, who are they? What do they do? Like, they're cops? Like at one point, I'm like, they're literally just like pulling someone over and giving them a ticket, and then they're in a helicopter with face paint, jumping down with a bazooka Joe, like blasting a fucking.
Literally.
I'm like literally in the same afternoon. Like the same weekend, they're like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, that's the
How
thing.
are you doing this?
That's the thing about
But again, they're super cops.
Yeah, they're super cops. That's the thing. Not even just this movie, but like, I like anything that like it may not be for me necessarily because this genre is not necessarily for me, right? I much prefer like last month. This is the exact opposite of last month.
I like that actually.
Yeah.
I like getting like because the movie
It's
we're
like
watching
sort of
next
whip.
week. I'm like kind of down. I haven't seen it forever.
I didn't even
And
see
so-
what one. I don't even know.
Well, yeah, we'll tell you fine folks at the end of the
I didn't
end of
even
this
see.
broadcast.
But like, I'll appreciate anything. It's like, it's very clear in this movie that even though it is pretty shallow, that it's like it's set out to achieve a goal of being just like entertaining, trying to be funny, but like not clever. It's not smart. But it's just like if there's not something exploding, then there's a laugh or a joke or something. Like it's always
I feel like they
going.
They gave Martin Lawrence and Will Smith a lot of room, which is fun. Even though I find a lot of their interactions like kind of fall flat.
Oh yeah, I mean some of the jokes are dumb and I laugh at because honestly it reminds me. It might because I watched this movie quite a few times as a young man of like 13, but it's because my Gatlin's dad loves it. He watched this movie. He's got a thing for Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, so it's just like probably because of this movie. But this 2003, like a fucking 25-year-old dude, just like bartender. Like I thought the rats fucking each other was dumb, but I laughed because I remember how funny my dad thought it was.
Yes, no, 100%. I was laughing because I'm like, oh my god, this is my dad's generation was like. Fucking ate this up because that's who was creating that. That like they were just like this is funny and like that is like that Martin Lawrence that whole scene when they become like and dude, oh my god, it's just so unhinged. This is one of those movies that like I was getting like whiplash because I didn't even there's no context for how they became anything that they were. Like it is
a sequel.
They would go, but no. I'm talking like they would go. We need to infiltrate his mansion. So there is no.
Well, I like that they didn't dawdle because it was literally like
no, really though. They didn't dawdle. They just went. All right, now they're in that. And
there's literally
they're exterminators. No
looked,
explanation. They're doing it because they're super cops.
Yeah,
that's it.
He put in a call the exterminators. Great, and then the next scene they're just there as exterminators. But it's just like,
oh no, that was the best.
What more do you need?
The phone. Literally, the second the phone gets on, he goes, "Yeah, we need exterminators." Okay, cool. Click, we're exterminators. In the hat goes on, and they're in there, and I'm like, there's something about this. Like, I'm just like, okay, let's go for it, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. It's like plot wise, you definitely could have cut. Like, I think this movie should have been under 2 hours, but it's just like there's no fat on it in the way. Like, there's fat on it, but there's no fat on it in the way that it's just like the script. Like, they're just there. Like, they're a gratuitous 20-minute long scenes, but that's what you're there for, of, like, the fucking shootouts. Like, when they go to that dude's house, there's that crazy shot that keeps circling around, and Will Smith's, he's got the God shot.
Oh, in the house. Right.
That scene is pretty inconsequential, other than the fact
so inconsequential.
that, Martin Lawrence is like, oh, your method's not working. Let's ask this guy. Oh, he's dead as shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
and that was actually like a funny. I'm sad because that's like a really good scene.
Yeah,
It just like it's
Well,
so like bloated.
It's cool because that's what you're there for. I'm not there for the plot development. The characters are fine. Like they have very clear ideas of what they want. It's very simple. And I think it's okay for a movie to be just like beyond, like it was a little too long. Especially when you're like, is this going to end? And then there's like, it just keeps kind of going, which is, it's full bore the whole time. So it's like, if that's, you're just wasted and you're just like, whoa, they're just fucking driving, through all the village, bro. And the guy's like, it's cool. That's where the people that make the cocaine live. It's cool.
I loved that when the Hummer, the second I saw the Hummer, and the product placement in this movie, there's literally, they're going to be college courses about product placement in the early 2000s and how it was so integrated. Like it's not like they invented it, but God, we went full force and we didn't even care. We're like unabashed. We just like, there's like Pepsi trucks and like, I mean, Transformers is like literally just a car commercial.
Oh yeah.
Dodge probably just, gave them $50 bajillion to do whatever he wanted. But like this movie is like that. Where like, I'm like, I mean, I understand that's what Fast and the Furious does, and that's what this does, and it's like, it's to sell car product stuff. But it's like this, like that. The second I saw the Hummer, I was like, oh my God, this Hummer. And I think maybe because I've seen the trailer for this movie, but I was like, that Hummer, like, just like that Hummer is unstoppable. It is a tank.
It's not even like scratched when they like.
No, it's not even.
They probably totaled like 5 Hummers at least, because there's some parts you could see it landing, and you're like, that was a rough landing. But then in the next scene, they're like. Martin Lawrence is like, "Go, boy!"
I found some fun things on for that car. If somebody out there in podcast land knows for sure, come to r/coldest of knowledge. Let me know. I found that it was 8 Hummers that they were using, but they only used like one principal Hummer, and so that was something that was interesting. But then one fun fact: the Ferrari that they drive, that like silver or maybe Corvette or what
Ferrari, yeah, Mike's Ferrari, yeah.
So they're the Ferrari scene, because I can't even. It's just a fucking like jumbled mess in my brain of what car scene and action car scene happened with what. But anyways, that Ferrari scene, it like behind the scenes, it was used once. Unscathed, perfectly fine, and then Martin Lawrence was getting out of it, and he crumbled the side door.
I remember hearing about that. Holy shit!
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, it's beautiful that like they used it in all the action scenes,
so
and it was
funny.
like unscathed, and then Martin Lawrence crumbled it. I'm like, that's classic.
Well, it's like, because this movie is that, like, it is just taking a fucking ripping a line straight to the dome in film form. And I think that's totally fine. Like, I do have a couple issues with some contrivances, but whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I've kind of, that's the whole thing. Like, I actually, it's, yeah, it almost, I mean, I never, because it's not for me, and it's like, essentially, it's not really doing anything that terrible, I guess, if you will. Like, it's doing exactly what it wants to do.
It's a couple steps above your just regular action schlock for me, for just a handful of very, very simple reasons. Hard R, mainly, and like some practical effects.
That's it. It just was
like
hard R.
If you're gonna make,
I mean,
that's
really,
the thing. If you're gonna make a movie that's not like, as a, we got a film podcast, like film analysis nerds that we are. It's like, there's no script for me to take apart. There's no, like, I can't be like, wow, that was some really smart jokes writing. You know what I mean? That was some really, like, because the character development.
No motive. None of the character development exists.
I mean, it's fine. It's simple. It's
they
boiled down
don't have
to,
it.
no, they do, but it's boiled down to one line. You know what I mean? It's like Martin Lawrence is like, I got to get my shit together for the family. You know what I mean? And then it's like, so everything is about his conflict. Like, there's conflict within the characters. There's a triangle between the main three that is like straightforward. It's not like so mindless, but it's just there just to serve like an ancillary to the action. And if I'm getting bombarded with fucking basically an hour and a half of just pure action and nothing else, I want it to be people getting their fucking heads blown off. I want it to be insane car crashes.
Exactly,
And then when they're filling the space out in between, it's like, I want the fucks, and then just like stupid jokes where they're making fun of dead body titties. And
I
like
know, right?
I laughed.
Like,
it got me so good when the top of just the gag out. Like it's so dumb, but it's so simple when like they're at the morgue and then the top of the dude's skull falls off. It's just like that got me. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Just Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's a good reaction. Like it's goofy. They have like a funny chemistry, and it's like this is definitely a comedy action that has like there's real stakes for the characters, I guess. But it's like you don't really see those anymore.
Really, though.
Well, I mean,
don't
like
feel like I don't
the
feel like
sister.
there's no stakes.
Well,
for
when
them,
the
like,
sister, literally, it switches gears when the sister gets taken. Because before that, it's like they don't care. They're just gonna fucking shoot first, ask questions later.
Do they show a shot? Is there a shot of the sister after, like, she gets kidnapped, and then she's just gone for the rest of the movie until they literally go into the room with her? Like, I swear to God, there's just a stand-in that's behind the bed for some of the shots, and then the rest, she's not even on set until Will Smith like enters the room. Like, it's the weirdest. As I was watching it, I was like, this is so. It's so like it's weird how like, I guess it's like this. They focus so much attention on getting those action shots done. That is a lot. That is a beautiful dance. That's an amazing feat in cinema. So it's like they just like acting doesn't matter. People don't, the characters don't matter where they are.
The script
continuity.
The script is
matter.
serviceable, but it's never. I always would say that the script is the foundation. This one is like the foundation's good enough. Everything we're doing is in production in post. You know what I mean? It's like the script is fine. You guys make your jokes and make riffs off of each other, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? Because I'm too worried about the choreography, which is important.
They gave Martin Lawrence such a weird. I just wish that they didn't make him so serious, because it felt so awkward for him to be like kind of like uptight.
I think
nervous.
he's
but
like
then he
the
tried
straight
to
man
be like
kind of,
loose,
yeah.
right. But then there you could see the Martin Lawrence, the true Martin Lawrence inside, the wacky goofball that's like, always sarcastic, trying to come out. But then he's like they're like, no, Martin, your character is like a nervous dad.
He's conflicted now. Well, he didn't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like he didn't used to be. I think probably. I mean, I don't know for sure, but from the first one, they're probably like they're too similar. We need to give.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence in the sequel, he's like trying to get away from all the chaos, and he's like, he's taking yoga, and it's all the woo-saw jokes and everything. And because in the first one, they're both just like, they're bad boys, but they still have the chemistry like, man, you're crazy, you're gonna get me killed. And he's like, well, do you want to drive? And that's totally fine, because that's the thing. It's like, you wouldn't be saying this about like Saving Private Ryan or something. But honestly, that has all the same story beats. It's like literally their motivation is just like, my general told me to do it. I gotta go get a thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like obviously there's more to it, but it's just like at the end of the day, it's like,
I mean,
but,
yeah. In that one, there's truly
but that one's
like
a drama.
An emotional stake. Right,
yeah, but it's not. It's still not like crazy character development and stuff. To the end of the day, it's like those like big war movies have a similar. There's just no comedy, and this is definitely like, this is meant. Michael Bay doesn't make films, he makes movies, and like he wants to put meat in the seat, and he wants people to be entertained and walk away and be like, that was fun, I had a good time. And I get that, and I feel like this is why this is like a step above for this kind of movie for me, is because it's like I can at least feel like, again, hard R. I'm a hard R guy. But I can
think about that
I can
more,
feel
I'm
the
like,
passion of it. I can feel like we don't get those as much. Like I would give me fucking, Guardians of the Galaxy, but with people getting their fucking cocks blown off. You know what I mean? I would like it.
Marvel.
It would be much better.
Has Marvel made one single R-rated
like
film?
Deadpool? That's pretty much it.
Is that it?
And I don't even know if that's the main Marvel studio. I don't watch enough Marvel.
Yeah, I don't think that completely counts in the canon. But yeah, because it's like, but so I guess that one does. And
Logan, which
but
Logan, again, that's like
Logan's
the X-Men. Those are the spin-off. Like technically they're Marvel, but they're not Marvel Studios. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, it's like if those quote unquote cookie cutters like Fast and the Furious 5 or whatever, if that one was just like cool hyper violence, but it's like I could feel, I don't know, those movies still feel really sterile. I think it's because they are boiled down to the lowest common denominator. This movie's like, yeah, that kind of movie, but for adults. And I'm like, okay, I can at least appreciate that. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, there's boobies and ecstasy and fucking rats fucking, and it's like, sure. You know, and it's like, dudes, they literally blow they shoot the guy. The headshot is dope at the end.
Yeah.
It's such a, like, you know, there's always a good headshot. But then he like lands on the mine and blows in half, and there's just so much dumb. And they got the chopped up body in the bucket. Like, I don't know. It's
well, that like
so it's
that
a,
actually
it's a step
I
above,
loved
just a bit.
I loved that prop. Like it really was like I was just like I don't know. Like you said, he makes movies. So
It
it's
feels like
I'm
one piece, right? That prop is just like one thing that's
Yeah.
just like, give me a barrel with limbs and blood sticking out of it. It's just like, all right, we put it in the mold for the barrels and limbs mold.
No, it totally was like funny as hell. Oh, dude, that's crazy. Bad Boys was his first directorial debut of a feature.
I did not know that.
Okay, so that kind of explains a little bit more because he kind of just like that's what's wild. He had the same kind of trajectory as Zack Snyder, where it's like a lot of like commercial stuff, like music videos and car commercials and stuff. And so it's like kind of funny to see him that like take that trajectory. But yeah, Bad Boys, and then it's like it goes like Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, and then he did Pearl Harbor, which I totally forgot that was him.
It's because it's awful.
But it's really bad.
So bad.
But the Island was one that I kind of liked.
It's kind of
It was kinda
fun, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And like the first Transformers.
I'm putting
was fun.
the
He
Rock on one of the polls next week because I'm
Rock-
like, I haven't seen
well, the thing-
we can't
Rock-
watch too much Michael Bay though.
back in the I know
It'll
please.
rot our minds.
But back in the day, I remember The Rock and thinking it was like super intense. And I used to watch The Rock and like Alien together, and so it's just like I don't know, man. It's super intense. Watching it over my grandma's on VHS for the days, baby.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Rock forever.
I know, and well, we might end up watching, like I said, Armageddon. So it's just like, and Armageddon's all right. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like, it's pretty
We'll
good.
watch it again, for sure.
Disaster. I almost put it on one of the polls because I was gonna do like, disaster movies just to kind of mix it up. I don't really want to do any more like big cops and robbers movies, like this one, because there's so many big types of high octane action films. Right? I'll put on Too Fast, Too Furious just for you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. I would love.
Or
to see
Tokyo Drift. I'll put on the third one, Tokyo Drift. With
we should do, because I don't know if I've even seen Tokyo Drift. I've only seen like maybe 3 or 4 of them mixed throughout. I don't even remember.
I've seen the first 3, and I remember, and I didn't want to watch them, but I was forced to watch them by Camel, who loved Tokyo Drift. I don't know.
That's great. I love that because it's like the franchise is unhinged, dude. I love that.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Armageddon, dude. Criterion saw Michael Bay and they were like, "We're gonna invest in him." Criterion thought,
I don't know. But that's the thing. It's like he does, even though they're big dumb explosion movies. It's like they hit the mark better than some other movie of the contemporary peers. Like they're just like they absolutely just get the job done and they are entertaining. Like this is the kind of movie I would love to go see in theaters. Like just like it.
And I bet you anything. Holy shit, dude! I bet you anything. Michael Bay is fun to work with. Can I just tell you real quick? I know this is a little jumping ahead.
The Money Minute, you just pulled it up.
Money Minute is blowing my mind with him. I didn't realize that Michael Bay was like $100 million director before that was like.
That wasn't that common at the time. Yeah.
Before that was a staple, dude. They were giving him fucking hand over fist cash, and that's the whole thing. He was making it back. It's mind boggling to me. Like this guy, so I just got to double check real quick because I want to see kind of a barometer here for holy shit. Yeah, dude. So 140 million for Armageddon to produce, and it grossed 550 million.
Nice.
And then Transformers, same 150 million, and it grossed almost $1 billion.
That doesn't surprise me. Well,
yeah.
You got it up. What's this?
And now for Bad Boys 2, it was 150 million, which is crazy. He like Armageddon, it was like 96, and then this is 2003, got 150 again, and it grossed to 273 million.
Okay.
So like it's so like wild to see him. They're giving him money. I'm curious actually. Now I got to see because I want to know. I want to know where he got his funding because it's like if Bad Boys was his first one, see that's crazy. Bad Boys was only $20 million. but it made 141 million.
It should like that's the thing. It's a much
These
more
numbers are bonkers.
much more of a contained movie. Like you should. Bad Boys 1 has definitely got a better script, no doubt.
I really wanted to watch it because I saw like a trailer for it and like the kind of like a video essay. I was like, oh man, see, it's like but I get it though because it does not fit that like it's almost like too cool to fit the high octane.
I wanted to go. I
know.
wanted to go full bore. You know what I mean? If it's like if we're gonna do action, let's do action. At least to start. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm still gonna do. I just saw what next week's is, and I was hoping Cliffhanger was gonna win. I knew it wouldn't. I voted for Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Me too.
Did you? I voted for it because I knew it was the underdog. I always kind of vote for the underdog, and I'm like, man, that movie's pretty cool. I haven't seen it in forever. But
I've never seen it.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I've only seen Ace Ventura, the Pet Detective.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning
Yeah,
it's just all of Cliffhanger, but with a raccoon.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I forgot about that.
I wanna. Yeah, I've never seen actual
good.
Cliffhanger.
It's pretty dope. It's probably one of the better Stallone movies, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know, man. This movie's it's just fun. Like it's sort of dumb fun, but it's just like a step above.
Well, and I love that it's like you got 95 for Bad Boys. Then this came out in 2003, and then 2020, Bad Boys for Life came out with the bloated corpse that is
Can you?
Martin Lawrence.
I know that was. I'm interested. I know that it's not pulling in $500 million or anything, but I remember everyone was surprised because Bad Boys for Life was the highest grossing film of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like the worst year for movies.
Because there was something that happened during 2020.
Yeah, there was something that happened and people weren't really going to the theaters.
Novel coronavirus.
But it's like I feel like now I'm not going to. I always say I'm gonna. I'm always like now's the time to finally watch. You know, I just watched Godfather, so now I finally got to watch Godfather 2.
Yeah, right.
And then I don't. But now I'm like, now's the time where it's like they're fresh in my mind. I got to watch Bad Boys for Life just so I can see how dead Will Smith is on the inside now.
That poor guy, dude. No, he really is like he's emotionally broken, dude. This guy, like, even before, I mean, because 2020, that's got to be when he's like going through a lot of it. Like, and then I doubt the pandemic really helped that poor boy.
No.
But it's like, I don't know, dude. Will Smith, it's crazy though to think that Will Smith at one point was the highest paid actor for years.
Yeah, you were saying that, and I forgot that was the thing because it was like
his at the end of the 90s and through the 2000s, like he seriously like he could take any project, and every project he tried to take that, like, if you think about it, like Will Smith was going to be a lot of the huge, like he was going to be Neo. There's somebody else that I watched a video essay a little while ago, and it's like Will Smith was going to be, he pretty much got casted for any main action star in the later 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
His
it's like
price was so high that, like, yeah, he was
well,
only getting
with
certain
movies
projects.
like Wild Wild West. How could you not? You know?
Well, right, exactly, yeah. And it's just funny because like every movie he was in, it was bringing it in, and then I think I don't know, man, he got the kid, and then he got like the idea.
It's because it's like
do everything.
No, it's because he fucking did Pursuit of Happiness, and everyone was like, and then he got married, right? Which obviously that she did a number on him, but
oh wow, yeah, bud.
But he did Pursuit of Happiness, and everyone was like, whoa, Will Smith can actually act, like he's more than just a superstar and like a charismatic guy, like whoa, he can act. And ever since then, he's been chasing that high until King Richard, and then he won the fucking Oscar last year or the year before. And then he undid all that by causing a bunch of drama. But it's and King Richard, he was pretty good. You know, he did a good job. But I was ready to like Will Smith. But it's like for a minute there, it's like because he just got too serious. Because honestly, it's like Men in Black is fucking dope. You know, it's pretty cool. iRobot's fun but dumb. Independence Day is fucking great.
I like him in iRobot. Like iRobot's like a
iRobot.
I have a soft spot because I love robots, but like
iRobot kind of sucks, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and they're like iRobot also has one of the most like because it's like Asimov or whatever
Isaac Asimov.
Yeah, like and he just like the fact that they tried to adapt one of his short stories and like I don't know, it's crazy what they did with him, and that's a whole another podcast we could talk about. But iRobot was a movie that I really enjoyed, and then he did Legend, I Am Legend, And so he was like,
You know, I Am Legend is pretty cool. If it wasn't for the horrible CG, it's definitely not his fault that it sucks.
no, of course. I mean, it's just a product of the time, and so that's why I can overlook it. 'Cause
I just
when I watch it,
maybe
I'm like, oh, okay.
see my hipster comes out for my irrational hate for PG-13 movies. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, this guy over here's got a fucking Antichrist poster behind him, so he's obviously give me more fucking blood jizz.
But no, I was thinking about this movie, Bad Boys 2, and I was like,
oh yeah,
how does it warrant a hard like the true R rating? And I kind of forgot like the fucking the cadaver, that whole area. What do you call those places? Dead
the morgue,
dead hotels.
Or
Morgue.
no,
Yeah.
because it's actually not the morgue; it's the funeral home.
It's not. Funeral home. Right. Because they're at the So the funeral home, and oh my god, and that plot gets wild with like the fucking. It's like white supremacists at the beginning.
Dude, and Michael Shannon is literally just like.
When I saw Michael Shannon, I was like, nice, and then he came back, and I was like, nice.
I love Michael Shannon. He's so good. And I forgot he was in this. And same with Henry Rollins, just randomly.
Oh,
but,
no, great. That was funny. I was like, wait, what?
When Henry Rollins was trying to act, which he should more. But anyway, it's Michael Shannon just being like, I have my rights, you know, and everything. But like they even forgot about him and they just like left him in the trunk and then he just never showed up again. They pulled him out. They're, you know, but
yeah,
it's all that's the contrivances and it's like. How they
more with that, but yeah.
They got because they got like somehow crossed paths into Johnny
movie,
Tapia.
Right. You don't like PG-13 movies, or at least whatever. You have like an irrational fear, and I personally,
it's my hipster because they're always neutered. They feel neutered to me.
But you can get away with so much in a PG-13.
There are exceptions,
obviously.
but
clearly
they're neutered.
But like I just think
I Am Legend
this movie.
If it would have been R-rated and not CG, it would have been one of the fucking dopest post-apocalyptic movies.
Right. Yeah, sure. And I just think that this movie could have been PG-13 and it would have had the exact same effect. Like I think, except for that morgue, the funeral home scene, that's where it really like, I don't know, kind of up to the level. Like really, he like went for his R because I feel that like they have a lot of like explicit language, and there's a lot of times where I'm like, this doesn't. It's kind of felt forced. Like the whole time I was watching this movie with Victoria, I kept being like, they're swearing at like the most random times, and not as like a character trait. It felt like I didn't realize until later that like, oh, it was R, and that's he was, and like because I read online that Michael Bay, this was like one of the first and only R-rated movies he did in the 2000s, and so it's like
true.
So it's just kind of funny. He's like, I wanted to keep it R, which is cool because his first, Bad Boys is R. So he's like, I wanted to keep it R to keep the same theme, so I didn't have to compromise anything, which is cool to hear, and it kind of does prove that like PG-13.
Well, and their jokes are like raunchy, and so it's just like he wanted to just lean into that. But
I mean, Martin Lawrence is in Big Mama's House, and those are PG-13, and those are funny as fuck. And so it's just like, I mean, they're bad. they're not very tasteful, but they're funnier.
Yeah, you're gonna have to amend that sentence.
No, dude, I will die on that hill.
You want to die on the Big Mama's House hill.
Yeah, dude. See, I like to keep my fans guessing, dude. Am I a hipster?
Your fans.
Is First Cow the only movie that I'll ever watch again? Or is Big Mama? Am I on the Big Mama's House train?
I love how First Cow is just like the standard now.
Dude, I've been telling everybody I know to watch it. But yeah, so it's like I like and respect all breadths of film.
Well, me too. That's always what I try to tell fucking you and David, that are like, you guys tease me for like just getting enjoyment. Like, I give this like a 3.5 stars because I'm like, yeah, it's slightly above average for what it is.
I mean, I'd give this 2.5, obviously. So it's like,
I felt like
typical,
3.
I liked it.
It's not necessarily a 3.5 star movie as far as quality, but it's just like, it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining as far as just like I watch this broken up throughout the day several points. I wish I was just
'Cause you
drunk
could.
and high. Because you can. It don't matter.
This could be 3 different plot lines.
Don't
They
matter.
gotta just stitch together. Right. It doesn't matter. No.
No, I'm here for the fucking, the car chases and everything, and that's all fine. Like, but it does like, I wonder how the rest of the month is gonna go, because it's like, honestly, this is like a palate cleanser, sort of, and so I was like, yeah, I had fun with it, but this is, like you said, not our normal type of movie. Like, I think if I had watched a bunch of other movies similar to this and then watched this, I would have been like a lot less like, okay, we get it, because it is like kind of exhausting by the end. You're like, because then it literally like ends with them at the minefield and they're kissing, and then then there's like the post credit scene or the during the credit scene, which that we got to bring that back to like just the side of the frame while the credits scroll up on the right. They don't do that anymore.
They don't do that. But that is.
I want
indicative
fake
of
bloopers. Bring back fake
strict-
bloopers.
Right, but that's strict comedy.
Yeah.
No, and I actually always like that was like a bit that I wanted to run is like where like a hard drama like Schindler's List, and then it just has like an end credit scene where it's just like it's kind of like not funny per se, but just kind of like slice of life in between like a hard drama, and just like at the credits like
Just like Ralph Fiennes just like having a whoopsie in his house, like
yeah or something yeah or
fucking
him just
Schindler's
like
List.
yeah him just kind of sitting and thinking on a bench or something and it's
Yeah.
like, just I don't know
That's fun, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So I'm kind of glad. So next week, I kind of went with more like some more '90s, which are definitely more like, more plot driven than this, but they're definitely action. But you couldn't really have this level of action. Like I feel like this, like Matrix changed everything, like you said. But it's like Bad Boys 2 is a level of action and like editing in the digital age. The millennium, man. Like it feels like this movie wants to be like fucking new century, new me, new fucking action cinema. Because it's like you look at some of the best action movies of like the '90s, like Speed, for example, one of my personal favorites. And it's definitely feels so much more like it's got high intense action pieces, but it feels so much more contained, and it has to rely on like a good script and good characters to stand out. So I'll be interested because I am going to kind of go back to those still big action movies. So next week we're watching Predator, right?
I know, which is I'm excited because I've seen Predator years ago.
I haven't seen the first Predator in a hot minute, like 10 years probably.
Right. For me it's been even longer since the 90s. Honestly, since like
Really?
probably like 2000. Like I remember I visited my uncle in Vegas and he had a surround sound system and it cost him like $10,000 for the DVD player and a surround sound system. And we watched fucking Predator and Terminator 2, baby.
Dope.
It was I gained like 18 fucking inches of goddamn muscle on these backbones.
That's when your chest hair sprouted, Like,
yeah, buddy, dude. I had the pump going.
I was gonna put Terminator 2 on the poll, but I couldn't remember if we watched it already.
And
it would just win. Yeah, it would just win.
Time, yeah. Like not even you could put Terminator 2 on any genre ever, and it's gonna win.
Well, it's because Terminator 2 is quite possibly the best action movie of all time.
I mean, really though, yeah. Like, yeah.
And
especially that
sci-fi
the genre
action.
that we're in. Yeah, right. And
But
even
like-
that, like, it's like we're in high octane / kind of like machoism, and so
well,
like,
I'm gonna definitely
that,
put some like James Cameron in there probably because that's James Cameron, right? Obviously, D2.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
Who
like
did Predator, do you know?
I forget.
I can't remember because I know it's Schwarzenegger, but I can't remember. It's been too long.
Yeah. Have you seen the other Predators? Sorry, we don't have it. We're almost done.
I know.
I don't have anything else to say about Bad Boys 2. It's kind of fun and dumb, and it hit me in the right. It was a palate cleanser for me, and so it's normally I probably wouldn't think that highly of it, but it's cool. It's kind of fun. Like I don't know, I appreciate it for what it is. I guess it does what it does well.
For all the things going against it, I had a good time. So that's my thing. We haven't done our favorite scenes in a while.
Real quick, yeah, we're gonna do that. But I remember seeing this the other day actually, so that's why I had to mention it. Predator is directed by John McTiernan, who I'm like, who the fuck is that? But then I'm like, how do I not know this guy? Because he directed both Die Hard 1 and 3, which are dope.
Oh,
and Hunt for the Red October, Last Action Hero, fucking
wow.
13th
he's
Warrior.
right in his wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, Predator, obviously. So, have you seen the other Predator movies? Like,
see, that's the thing. Yeah, I
sequels
saw
and
when he
stuff?
goes to New York, which I think is the second one, right?
it's the second one, yeah.
Yeah, and he meets Jason there. But and then
Yeah. It does feel
There's-
like that kind of.
right, yeah, it's totally got that. And the quality where like this is what's cool. This is one thing I want to finish up of a wrap up about Bad Boys. The Bad Boys 2, really like the production value went up, and it is like it's a solid sequel, which is cool to I mean, it's kind of hard though because it was his debut film. So it kind of like, you know, that you kind of have nowhere else to go but up, but like it's still like I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And it's nice that he took it and he gave it the respect that he wanted, you know. So I am happy about that. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. It's like
No, I get so what was your favorite part then?
well, see, that's I know. As I said it, I was like, God, I don't really know. I think the dog ripping the pool is such a classic gag.
It's such a
like the
just
dog
goofy. Like that sums the movie up, honestly.
The dog chain
Twice.
catching on to something. I know they did it. Well, yeah, because of course. And it's like I love how the second time it happens, they're like, we're not even gonna have the establishing shot of the chain around.
They
anything.
just
It's
tied the dog chain to it.
The dog's just walking and it rips. So, anyways, but like that is such a gag that like that works on all levels. That's like there's an Even Stevens episode where that fucking happens. Like it happens everywhere. Like it doesn't like I don't think you can make a sitcom without the dog gag. So, anyways, that's probably one of my favorite things. And the fact the continuity in this movie is bonkers. And it's not even bonkers into the sense of like Scorsese where it's like he's taking the best take. This is like continuity where it's like fuck it. We're just making an action movie, you idiots. And so the dog is in the swimming pool. It shoots, shows the dog in the swimming pool, cuts, shows Martin Lawrence, cuts back, and the dog is standing completely dry, chained up next to the pool.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Fuck it. It's for the joke. Right?
I know. The bit lives, dude.
The
It's
bit.
yeah. All right. What's your favorite scene here?
I don't know. You're right though. It is like there's a lot of other high octane stuff, but it is hard to beat that first chase scene because it's long too. It goes like fucking car chase scene, gunfights, like through the parking garage out. Then they crash. They get in this huge crazy shootout in the intersection, and then the guy's still the fucking semi truck with all the cars on the back, and then there's like that on the freeway. It's such a cool scene that it's like that'd be the climax of any other movie.
Well, I was gonna say,
and it's the best action scene.
I enjoy that. Like, if we want to look at, you know, they just took the simplest arc plot you can do for a script, but it's like it's cool that is the inciting incident, and then it showed. Like, I love how it like plays later in the office when he's like, did you guys do this on the TV?
I know he's like
showing all the.
He's trying to be like, not that one. No, don't look at that.
Not that one. Yeah, exactly. It's like that plays into it well to their characters, but it also, I mean, it's just so like, you don't need a script.
I think that's the thing. It's like he is definitely just like, this is definitely the cliche buddy cop. One's too old for this shit. Shoot first, ask questions later. That's like made famous by like, you know, Lethal Weapon and all those classic. This very Miami Vice. You know what I mean?
Well, I know. I was thinking because I was like, they're Miami Vice basically, but that shot of like the plane going over the Miami sign, which doesn't. When I saw that, I was like, why is that Miami sign? I don't understand. Like it doesn't exist. They made it for the movie. Like
my favorite part is that P. Diddy was the music supervisor.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah.
And they played like one really popular song, like 3 different renditions of it throughout this whole movie. Yeah.
I wish Joe Pantoliano was in it more. I liked him when he's like trying to contain his rage as the police captain.
I know, yeah.
It's goofy, but I love him.
He looks like the whitest nerd. He looks exactly like what he's supposed to be. Oh, I love though. There was a scene when all those big police guys come up to him and they're like, we'll do the job with you, you know, fuck the rules. We'll do the job together. There's one guy with like a big bushy goatee, and I was like, he's a white supremacist, right? I'm like, are they tying this in where he's gonna come out and be like mad at them and he's gonna be like, you hurt my brother? But anyways, no.
Right. I honestly, they're just like, oh, we're gonna go kill some Cubans. Like, I guess I'll team up with some
my
black
God.
guys.
No, I mean, we can't even. You can't even touch on it because it's like. It's not even like it's so insensitive that you're just like whatever.
Well,
I don't even know. They're in Cuba. Cuba becomes the bad guy somehow, and then
It's the drug dealers, the corrupt Cuba. Guantanamo Bay is the saviors.
I know, right? I'm like, go America, I guess.
The two Cuban guys that they're always riffing with, the two other cops. Those guys are in the first one too, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
So there's like the cop chemistry a little bit, but like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. He's just like, hey, my brother is like the main guy of the resistance in Cuba. He'll get us in.
Everything is so convenient, man. It kills me.
I feel like they're writing it and they're like, man, a good script would have to like explain this and have nuance, but then he's just like, no, fuck that. No,
he just says
his brother is the thing. Like,
no, dude, literally, the Cuban dude jumps he scales like 2 stories, jumps the thing, and they go, "Why are you here?" And he goes, "I'm the Cuban guide." And then they start running together. You're like, okay. He just showed up on set on accident. And like, well, all right.
This is the thing. You don't read into that. You're not supposed to.
I know.
Yes. Which
do you have a Reddit? Do you have a Reddit?
We
can finish off. We can finish off with a clean, nice Reddit. And
this is the thing. This is the most Reddit comments we've had in a minute. So it's just like, obviously we're wrong. But
I know. I mean, people love it. I'm happy for you.
It's fun.
I love that you love it.
I don't love it.
I love that you love it. Personally.
You told me you loved it. You texted me. Hey, so
yeah.
Random Villain says, it's funny, I just rewatched this last night and I liked it more than I did when I first watched it. I miss action movies like that, like this, and I get that. It's the violence.
it really, well, no, there's a violence, and there's like, it's kind of like, it's nice that it doesn't have to be meta. We're like, I did enjoy Deadpool, but like, it kind of like,
Deadpool's
the second
fine.
one, it's a little old, No, it's like, it's fine.
Yeah, you're right. It does have to, anyway. Welsh says, honestly, one of my favorite sequels of all time. Truly batshit insane, with each shootout being more insane than the last. Martin Lawrence is placed in the casket of a dead woman with giant breasts, and that's a comedic plot point. Like, what a bizarre movie. That is funny and action-packed. Exactly. It's just like, yeah, why not?
It's fun. No, really, though.
Clones of People 2 says, I haven't seen Bad Boys before, so I watched 1 and 2 over the weekend. He would. I liked the first one. The action was fast-paced and fun, even if the plot was a bit shallow. The second one ramped it up. Total bayham. Fast-paced shootouts, explosions, car chases, a camera that never stops. And another shallow plot, which, for a buddy cop action film, is great. It's delivering exactly what it's trying to do, and for that, there's a lot to like. I did find the pace draining. Yeah, I agree with that. That's like what you were saying. A lot of the comedy was a miss for me, and I wish there was more to the plot and the characters, but as an action film, it was fine. 6 out of 10, I think I preferred the first one. What are you telling me?
Bayham, dude.
You telling me the rats fucking is not... It's so stupid. Where they're just like, they had to make puppets and be like, yeah, and then they fuck missionary style because that's hilarious, and he's so, Martin Lawrence, just get him to be grossed out and react to everything, which that worked. The rats was funny, but again, my dad thinks that's hilarious because it's like
Martin Lawrence taking the ecstasy. That was a good bit.
Him being grossed out by the bodies is kind of funny. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. He does it well.
Yeah,
he does it well. It's fine. So anyway,
yeah. I mean, I audibly gasped when they showed the woman because I was like, God, they really found a woman with very large.
The comedic timing was pretty good on that though. Yeah. When he just pulls it back and it just stops, and he's like, "Don't even." Like he just like,
right. It's one of those like. It was, yeah.
Like, that was definitely the funniest scene. But it's like...
That's the R that I was covering my child's eyes when we were watching
my eyes were trying to get covered. No, there's plenty of R. I'm going to make a supercut of all the violence. But, yeah, that is the...
No, it is. It's R. I know it's R. I'm just saying it's like, it easily could have been PG-13 and probably still grossed as much. But that's kind of that's what PG-13 movies do, and that's how they exist. So.
That's why I hate them, is they're neuter. Because if you went through and you cut all the R stuff out of this is a 2-star movie for me.
Yeah, but there are good PG-13 movies out there, obviously.
There are, but PG-13 action and horror movies, 9 times out of 10, maybe even a little bit more than that. There are obviously exceptions, but 9 times out of 10, it's an R that got neutered to a PG-13 for studio reasons to make money. That's why I don't like them. Is because they usually don't have to be that. How many times you hear like, I don't know. It's like, yeah,
I know. I've heard that. Yeah, it's been edited to, and then you get like, that's why. I mean, this is right at the beginning of the unedited or not rated versions. It's like that's when DVDs were sending the not rated versions because you were getting a PG-13 movie.
And it's because the studios knew they could double dip with the fucking DVD, where it's just like, we release it, and then we'll don't have to pay to get it rated, and we'll just release the unrated one with more violence. People will eat that shit up and at home, and we'll make more money on the home. Because I imagine theaters, PG-13, you make more money, obviously. At home, R. That's how grown-ups watch movies. They don't have time to go to the theater.
Of course. Yeah. And well then,
Back
and
then.
R, and it doesn't. You're getting an adult version, and you're getting people who don't fucking care, absent-minded parents that are just renting a movie that they're like, oh, I saw this and I heard that it was PG-13.
Well,
let's get this one,
and
the big NA on the front.
Since they don't have to give a fuck about rating it, and they're just like, okay, whatever, throw whatever in it. It's obviously you don't have to deal with like studios if it did happen to get an NC-17, like not theaters not showing it or whatever. So anyway,
I'm sad, dude. That burned so bright, and that generation is done. We killed it.
That'll never happen again. Yeah, none of that will.
I know.
That is a thing of the past. We live in the streaming age now, which is a whole. We're still
we live in like late stage cable. So here we are.
Yeah, basically.
It's going to be like $180 at the end of the month. So,
but
not for you fine folks out there. If you come to our Patreon, it's only $10 a month, or you can give $3 a month. You can give $1 a month, whatever you'd like. It's your discretion, and we love you, and you get great perks. Thank you so much.
Yep, that'd be great. Anyway,
Patreon.
So we're gonna keep with the action movies. I did like a thing. If you have an action movie you want to see on the poll, go put it on the fucking Reddit. I usually do a poll every Sunday. Ends on Tuesdays. That's when we record podcasts and everything out. Wednesdays is what we try to shoot for. So that's why this is an elongated thing. I like it. So next week, Predator. Come
to the Reddit. We gotta generate that sweet Reddit traffic, everybody. It's R. You just put the letter R in your web browser, slash, and R/, and then Cult of Cinema Knowledge.
Shows up.
The delicious podcast you're listening to right now.
That's what it is.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, come tell us. All right. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Bayfest.
I know, dude. I liked Bayham. That was fun.
Yeah, Bayham. Whoops.